Hello everyone and welcome to episode 10 of The Collective. We've reached double digits and I'm here with my boy, Lachlan.
How you going, man?
How you going, Lockie?
Look, not bad. I've been speaking to you for the past 10 minutes anyway, but still good.
Yeah, I know. We've come up with some absolute zingers, haven't we? Zinger with bacon and cheese, but we can't fucking... We'll just try and translate that to the pod now that we're going live.
That's it.
So that's the key here, I'm not sure if you know, but it is to clearly be as big as Joe Rogan. So if you can help me on that trajectory, that'd be great.
Look, I don't know if anyone really wants to listen to me, but it's worth a shot, all right?
You're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure my family doesn't even fucking care right now.
Yeah, they just
None of them want to listen to shit.
I'm going to be on a podcast. I'm like, oh, you don't talk about anything interesting? I'm like, probably.
Yeah. Hey, am I an interesting person, Mum? No.
Yeah.
Shut the door on her. Get the fuck out.
And then she reminded me about when am I moving out again?
Oh, you poor soul. You're back. Oh, yeah, you're back with your parents, are you?
Yeah, it's terrible.
I can relate to that because I'd moved out, went to Ballarat, right, and got a job there, which was a couple of hours from here. Came back and had to move in with my parents. Once you're out of home and you've got to move back in with your parents, it's the fucking worst thing ever.
What was it like living in a third world country, being Ballarat?
It's cold as fuck outside right now, right? Where I'm from, Warrnambool, yeah. So, it's probably, I don't know, maybe 12 out there, 14, something like that. And it's fucking windy and shit. But Ballarat was that fucked up that you would have to wear like 3 or 4 different doonas just to get through the night. It was fucking disgraceful.
Oh, and I bet you would have been real sick of that 4 seasons in one day joke they always spike on the Victorians.
Correct. Hey, have you done much travelling through Australia? Obviously, you've done a heap of travelling through... because you're a Contiki fucking lord like myself, aren't you?
Yeah, well, that's what you do when you've got no one else to travel with, really.
That's really sad. I can't believe you didn't take your mum.
I told you, she don't want anything to do with me.
Hey, the best part about today's podcast, I was thinking about it, right, is obviously we're not going to name where you work, right? But you are... What is your title? It's mental... You work in mental health.
Yeah, so I have... 2 jobs. My main job is I'm a mental health registered nurse. And my second job is I'm a specialised dementia advisor for like a dementia nursing home.
For Dementors from Harry Potter. That's sick.
I mean, they're just as old, really, but...
No, I was just thinking that today's podcast, much like my other previous ones, you've listened to a couple of them, I think. But I'm thinking we're going to do a little bit of a bipolar on this one. We're going to go up and down like a fucking roller coaster today, son. We're going to get some fun and silly in, and then we're going to get some serious in, and then we're going to get some fun and serious.
Sounds very borderline. I like it.
Yeah.
Right up my alley.
A good joke. That was a good joke. So, do you want to jump? We'll jump straight into serious, because fucking I've got my serious face on.
All right, go.
So, for you today, I've got a few questions, philosophical questions. You might have heard some previous ones. What I'm going to do, because we've got basically... You know, the 2 main topics that we've discussed after this, the funny, silly ones, and then obviously the serious ones. I'm instead of giving you 5 questions, I'm going to give you 10. Just because everyone else has kind of had 4 or 5 topics that we've kind of gone through, but our 2 are kind of bigger ones today.
Yeah.
But we'll give you 10. You ready? You ready to answer these bad boys?
I'm ready for you.
All right. Philosophical question number 1. What is the meaning of life?
You know what? I've listened to your podcast and I was like, I'm going to try and prepare for this.
You're like, and nothing.
I've still got no fucking clue.
Yeah, can you answer that? How do you answer it?
You know what? I just, I don't want to sound cliche like every other person that's answered that question, but I think it is just to try and live a decent life in some sort of aspect of the word and do something meaningful to you.
Yep.
Whatever that may be.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. I don't like to say to be happy because I don't think that's true at all.
Okay. Why do you think it doesn't tie in with happiness?
Well, because I think happiness as a broad, I think that's very unrealistic. I don't think that anyone is meant to be completely happy in all the time. I think you got to sort of work and sort of how do you put it? Try and move towards something. And I think achieving goals, whether because sometimes you can achieve goals and they won't make you happy, but they can make you feel satisfied and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I don't think happiness is the end goal. I think it's just to do something meaningful, even if it is actually something that's not exactly a happy thing, but something meaningful.
That's interesting. Well, fuck it. I'll jump straight into question 4 because it relates to what you've just answered. Does life require a purpose and goal? Why or why not?
I don't know. See, I think it requires some sort of goal, or some sort of purpose, or then you'd be completely miserable, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose. Then I don't know too much about nihilism, and that approach to understand it. But yeah, I seem to think that. But I've had people on here that have answered, does it require a purpose or goal? No, you can just live in the moment.
So I don't think that, because I even think, like, I think for people who are actually, like, who are nihilists like that, and they are so set on just living in the moment, that in itself is quite difficult to do. So would that not be some sort of a goal?
Oh shit! You just David Copperfield this bitch. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, question 2: what happens to us after death? Now, answer this in the way of the sense of, if you're a betting man. If you had to put a bet on, what happens to us after death?
All right, I got my own theory on this, and hear me out.
Okay.
So, like, I'm Christian, but I'm not overtly like a Bible basher or anything like that. I think what you do on Earth, this is my personal theory, and it's probably wrong, but who knows, is that I like to think of, like, wherever you go after you die, it's kind of like a hotel. If you're a shit kind of a person, and you just don't do any good to anyone, you get the really basic room. It's like the IBIS budget. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe in hell.
Yep. Okay.
At all. I think there's no such thing as hell. I think no matter what anyone has done, there's just no need for hell, because I just think that's just absolutely cruel. And especially if you look at it from a Christian perspective. If you have say, for example, a doctor, but he's Muslim or whatever. He's not religious. He's atheist. Okay. And he gets to go to hell just because he didn't believe in some magic moon man. That's a bit ridiculous.
Okay. Yep.
So I think everyone goes somewhere better, or wherever. But I think the more good you do, is the nicer the hotel. If you're a decent person, maybe you go to like a Marriott Suites. If you're a really good person, maybe go to some high ass, nice place. If you're a shit cunt, you get the IBIS budget.
I love that fucking analogy. It's perfect. If you're a fucking real good cunt, you get the 4 seasons in the Maldives. Yeah. If you don't, you get the IBIS.
That's right.
You can fucking jog
with
on.
the sheets that can stand up on themselves and all the spoof, and the bolted in TV.
Yes. The best part about that question, I think, is that you can pick apart anything. Like, I could sit here and pick apart your thing. I could pick apart everyone's. I could pick apart my own. Like, it's like one of the only true unknowns that I feel like in life. So
I think it's the cool. only unknown. I think we can get a grasp on pretty much everything, but no matter what, no matter like all these people who like say, I died and I saw a fucking beach and I was walking through the beach and then Jesus came and gave me a hand job or whatever. Like,
and it felt really good. Oh wait, that was just a dream.
Excuse the religious views, but but no one knows. And I think even these people who are like so devout to their religion, I think they still have some doubt. It's impossible not to.
Yeah, I've always wondered that, like, how much a percentage of a scale, like if it's like 1 to 10 kind of thing, like, how sure are they? Like, are you that sure that if you put a gun to your head right now, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because in reality, because I've always had this like internal debate, because I was Christian schooled my whole fucking childhood. Yep. And, I'd see the teachers and I'm like, well, if you were that devout and you are 100% on your religion, then why don't you just kill yourself? Because it's so much better than living in the world. Then why don't you fucking just do it, bitch?
I've thought about that, but when you break it down, is it not like a mortal sin to kill yourself? Wouldn't you go to hell?
Doesn't matter. The ideology is you can do anything you bloody want. As long as you ask for forgiveness, you'll be fine. So
repentance or whatnot.
So pretty much it's kind of a win-win.
So George Powell's good then. He can fucking just zoom on in, couldn't he?
He can just keep fiddling around, really.
He's done a bit of zooming on, he's done a bit of fiddling around, hasn't he?
Oh, apparently not according to the courts, but
What happens if you fucking, I don't know, I hit you with a bus in 10 years, because that's what's going to happen, and Georgie Powell, he's left us in the future, and the first thing that happens is when Lachlan gets up there, is you meet George, and you're like, oh, fuck, what did I do?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, I'm not having a beer with him. That's just fact, and I'm not shaking
George,
his hand.
George, I'm not shaking your hand. I'm not having a beer with you.
Yeah, go back to your fucking dirty IBIS budget.
All right, are humans obligated to better themselves, and will that make them happier?
Yes, they're obligated to better themselves in a sense, because I think if you think of it like an evolutionary thing, it's kind of like drilled into us. Will it make them happier? Definitely fucking not. Yeah.
Interesting. Can you break that one down for me a little bit?
So I think like
just that last half, like, because I agree with that first part. But I just wanted to get a breakdown of that second part.
I think, like I was saying before, just about the whole even working towards nothing is working towards something, in the sense of that takes a lot of fucking commitment and effort to do nothing. But like, if, for example, like I think everyone wants to better themselves in some sort of way or whatever. And whether they see it as like a mad life goal or not, it's happening. Even if, they're bettering themselves is fucking, just trying to meet someone or whatever. I think it's sort of imprinted in us to like sort of strive and achieve and do things. Yeah. As for the sense of will it make you happier, definitely not. Like, it's just like saying that everyone who's rich and famous and successful, in the ideology of like, in the spectrum of where they scale in class, they're at the top end, but they can be the most miserable people you've ever met.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast one time of a psychologist, I believe, who deals with rich, like super rich, famous people. And I'm not talking, not super famous people, super rich people. So I'm talking like the elites, like the 1% of the 1%. You're not talking about fucking Leo DiCaprio. You're talking about the cunt that's a billionaire, right? And he's just saying, like, just because these people have billions and billions of dollars doesn't mean that they don't have problems just like everyone else.
100%. I think it puts you...
some of the problems that they experience are something that we can't.
Well, there is problems in like fame and success in itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, but I think it puts you at a better position not to be miserable. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It's a fact that people from a lower socioeconomic background and household have more chance of developing mental illness, or just being, without even slapping the mental illness label, just being a miserable person in themselves.
Of course, they don't. I mean, it's like the classic, how are your cards? You've been handed certain cards and you've got to play those cards, and unfortunately, they just don't have the cards to beat a fucking royal flush at the start.
That's it.
Doesn't mean you can't fucking do something, like in poker. You know what I mean? You can make moves, you can bluff, you can...
It's true.
Yeah.
You can climb. It's climb the social ladder, but it's a lot harder to climb from the bottom. You know
of course, and it's a very slippery slope, obviously, as well. I was literally having a conversation with a friend recently because another friend is single and has been single for quite some time, and the one thing that he hates about himself, I don't know if necessarily hates about himself, but one thing that he hates is the fact that he's shorter. And, I mean, biologically, obviously, women like tall men. It's just a fact. Like, it's, big caveman, big dick kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like,
out of the question then.
But you know what I mean? Like, small things like that unfortunately, they're the cards that you're being dealt, but it doesn't mean you can't win the game.
That's true. That's a good point. Have you ever, I don't know if I'm meant to be asking you questions, but have you ever
mate, I tangent every fucking 3 minutes on this cunt.
I actually forgot we're on a podcast
go
for
it.
a second. But have you ever listened to or read Jordan Peterson's stuff?
I actually have his book. Yeah, 12 Rules to Life. I do have his book. I've only read the first chapter. I've listened to a lot of podcasts with him. I do like a lot of his stuff. Some of the stuff doesn't mirror up with me.
Too much about lobsters. That's a fact.
Oh, that fucking lobster thing was amazing.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think that's how he puts it is pretty much perfect. Like, if you're better off, you've got access to better healthcare, better food, better chances of doing whatever you want. You can go to TAFE, you can go to uni, do whatever. Whereas the person at the bottom can't do these things and sort of strive to better themselves. So of course,
yes,
if you're a better predisposition to be happy if you're rich. That's just pretty much a fact.
I think that's a fact, and I think if you don't agree with that, then you can get out, mate. You can fucking get out.
Just like the lobster, you can go back into your hole.
Yeah, I did read that part of that lobsters. Yeah, well, it's true, man. Like, obviously, the bigger lobster's going to crush the little bitch-ass pussy lobster. Yep. So it is the way it is, and then bitches want the big lobster's dick. So it is what it is.
That's it.
All right, buddy, question 5. You ready to answer?
Yep, go for it.
Does good and evil come from within? Why or why not?
Nah, I don't think it does. I think people are naturally born a good person. You know what I mean? It's or I think it's like a nature nurture sort of situation. I think it's what you're exposed to and how you're raised, and is how you sort of define your ethics and how you sort of how you view the world and yourself as a person or whatever is how you sort of act towards other people. So
Sure. So for example, do you believe like serial killers are born evil?
No, I think there's something that's happened to them that's created like a snowball effect, and it's sadly enough has just ended up to them being absolutely fucking extra crispy and fried to think that's
cooked
an appropriate
boys
thing. Cooked as.
Yep. That's fair. Cool. So cool. That's first 5 set. Question 6. What is the meaning of a good life?
I think the meaning of a good life is to do something with purpose, whatever that may be. Whether that is to like raise a family and do that well, or to have a good job and be successful within that job, wherever that may be. I think it's very personal. Like for every person, it could be different. So I know people who like they work at like say they work at a fucking Big W and they're perfectly happy with that, and they put all their effort into like their family and spending time with their family and having that sort of easy life. Whereas say for me, I'm like to like work, and I care, sadly enough, I care more about my job and shit like that than other things. You know what I mean? Sure.
No, that's fine. I've got some fucking friends that are incredibly career based. I've got a fucking friend that's career based to the point where he hasn't really done any traveling, but he's making, I don't want to name him, but he's making well upwards of, 150k, and like it could increase, as he goes through life. And his plan was always to work hard, commit to his career, retire young, and travel when he's in his. The dude wants to retire before he's 45.
Oh, my old boss did that, and my hat just goes off to him. If I could be fucked, I would so do that.
Yeah, I suppose my flip side to it is personally, I would prefer to do it the other way. I prefer to travel young. So it really depends, and we've both done that. So it depends on your mind frame, and I definitely don't think career focus is bad. If you're stepping over people, and you're just kind of a bloke in a career field, then sure. But I mean, if you're just looking after yourself and your family, then yeah, you've got a one-way ticket to the IBIS budget, buddy. Rightio. Question 7: Is it easier to love or be loved?
I think again that's a personal thing. Like, I think everyone would be different with that one.
Yep.
I think it's very. It depends on what. Like, if we're talking about love in like the romantic sense, or we're talking about love in the passionate sense, it just really depends.
How do you answer this question?
I would say it's probably easier to. It's always easier to be loved, I think, because like I don't know, especially coming from a male point of view, especially a fucking millennial male. We're not very open up people, I reckon. I think we're probably one of the most closed off and superficial generation that there ever has been, if not probably the most superficial, because everything is so replaceable. So I think to actually, like, I think it's very easy to say, like, if you're talking about like a romantic sense, it's very easy to like people and to have like these little crushes. But I think to generally be in love, I think is incredibly rare. And to love something or someone, is pretty much impossible our day and age, like, because everything is replaceable. Everything is like you can just throw it away and just get within 5 seconds. Especially
like we were saying before, if you have an Aussie girlfriend or something, you can trade one Aussie girlfriend in for 5 Chinese ones. Look, there's a market there
nearly every day of the week.
Yeah, there's a market there for Ming Li and Chong Wei
and fucking the mop.
Yeah.
Inside joke.
Oh yes, beautiful. Okay, question 8: What is true friendship?
Oh, true friendship's just I think it differs for everything like, but I think it's just pretty much if you've got someone's back and you can rely on them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I think we have a lot of friends. Everyone's got like friends and lots of friends, but to have a true friendship, that's pretty rare.
Yep.
So
actually, you've basically answered this, but I'll ask it anyway. Is living life to the fullest possible? Why or why not?
I don't think it's possible. I think no matter what, I don't think anyone is truly content with whatever they achieve or do. You know what I mean? As soon as you achieve one thing, there's something else to do. There's something else that you can work towards or strive towards.
Yeah, it's like people that are creative guys, like that, or sports stars, that they reach the top of the hill. I've heard of many stars that have need to go to psychologists and stuff because they might reach like the pinnacle of their sport, but then what's after the pinnacle?
Yeah, that's right. And it's just
and they've worked all that time to.
But then it's just that's it. And then there's a million other things they could be doing, and they put all their time into that.
Yeah. Question 10 and the last one before we jump into some sillies. You ready?
All right, go for it.
Are we a minuscule part of intelligent life in the universe?
Fuck. That is very philosophical. I'm going to have to fucking get old mate Stephen Hawking to answer that one.
Beep, beep. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I just got his fax machine. Yeah, that's just him. Fucking that's a question out of. I'm not like really into that spiritual crap, so I'm not 100% sure. But apparently we are. Like I think we're probably there's definitely some sort of higher form than us. Like there's no way. Like, I think humans we're pretty intelligent, but we're in the same sense we're pretty fucking basic. There's got to be something a bit higher power than us.
Basic bitch, you cunts.
We are basic bitches. Let's be real. I mean, we still fucking fuck up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So but that's a doozy, that one.
Cool. All right, let's jump into some fucking sillies. So obviously one of the big fucking things that we were going to talk about was the Contiki trips. We've both been on. I've been on 5. You've been on more than me, I think, haven't you?
No, I've been on 3 Contikis, but I've traveled a fair bit.
Yeah, but you've done some other group stuff, haven't you? Have you done top decks or anything like that?
No, I was meant to go on my first top deck in January, but that's been fucking put back. Thanks. Corona.
Oh, thanks, COVID.
Cunt.
Sorry, I thought that you'd been to Chernobyl and stuff like that.
I just did that off my back. I didn't.
Oh, so you've done some solo stuff as well, like some backpacking and stuff like that, have you? Or?
Nah, not backpacking, but I've because I'm in the end of the day I'm the typical white tourist. But I've always wanted to go backpacking, but I just don't have the balls for it. I'm just gonna put it out there, right there.
Yeah.
But I've done some I've done some travel off myself, and I did an exchange with university once. That was pretty cool.
How many how many countries have you travelled to? You've been to a fair few, haven't you?
33.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, you have done a fair bit. I knew you'd been to Chernobyl, and I want to get into that because that's such a fucking cool place to go.
It was definitely.
Fuck it, let's talk straight about Chernobyl straight away. Obviously, most people I would assume have seen the fucking TV show, even if they didn't know what it was.
I watched it on the plane to Chernobyl.
Did you? Yeah. You're like, oh shit, this actually happened. This is real.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then it was pretty fresh in my mind. So wherever we visited, like, because you can't go to Chernobyl by yourself. It's super illegal.
Yep. So you had to go as part of a tour group,
a day tour or an overnight tour. I just did the day tour. The overnight tour, I don't really feel like waking up with a fucking green glowing dick.
You could be the Hulk, bro. So give us a rundown of Chernobyl. What it was like.
Well, it's fucking it's an eerie place, right? So it's kind of like you do like it's very commercialized now though. That's one thing that I really hated about it. So like. You go on the tour and you can sort of like wander off and like look around things, and it was absolutely amazing looking at these like old Soviet buildings that are just full of propaganda and like the Soviet style of architecture, like
America is a bad place.
Oh fuck yeah, like they're so anti-American. Well, they're just anti-capitalism really.
Yeah,
you just felt so small. It's like when I was in Russia. Like all the buildings are designed to make you feel small.
Oh, bro, we were, unfortunately, I fucking missed out on the Russia part because I did the. What did you? You didn't do the same fucking Contiki as me, did you? You didn't do the Russia Contiki, did you?
I have done the Russia Contiki, yes.
Oh wow, we've done the same fucking trip.
Which one did you do? Did you do the Scandinavia, Russia, or just Russia?
Yeah, Scandinavia, Russia. Nice. And we got kicked out of the country 2 days early because our passports were wrong. Our fucking visas were wrong.
Shit.
Dopey cunts. So we missed out.
Prison.
Yeah, we missed out on the gulags, but we also missed out on Moscow as well.
Oh, that is a piss take. That's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, actually, so apologies. We went to Moscow for the first day, but then had to basically piss off. So then we caught a flight to Latvia and fucked off to Poland early, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, like I do remember St. Petersburg being there and being like, holy shit, the fucking buildings here are huge, and I feel like a little bitch.
Oh, but that's how they did it back then. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the whole. If that made you feel like a little bitch, then fucking Comrade Stalin or Comrade Lenin, I should say, started that shit.
Yep.
I would be very proud of you. because that's
Correct.
That's exactly what he wanted.
Yes, correct. But yeah, Chernobyl was cool. Is it something you'd recommend for like someone who
Highly.
you know? Yeah. It's like a kind of like a dark tourist kind of spot, isn't it? Technically.
Yeah, it's a bit dark touristy. I mean, that's a great show on Netflix. It's not that dark touristy, but it's definitely it's a weird place to go, and I'm fucking glad I went. It's a massive eye opener, and sort of makes you think, like, fuck, humans are really stuffed up. And
yeah, that's how I felt at Dachau when I was at the concentration camps there.
I've been there. That whole place just gives me bad vibes.
Yeah.
Nice
there's
place.
no positive. Oh, excuse me. There's no fucking positive vibes here. I want a refund. Holy fuck! What a place.
Oh, it's just it's about as grim as it gets, eh?
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey, let's jump straight into. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, it's gonna say even fucking having a coffee at the coffee shop, it's makes you feel depressed in there.
Yeah, I know. It comes with fucking ash in it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. I did not see that coming.
Oh, that's a bad joke, you naughty boy. Smack. Okay, let's jump straight into our fucking Asian sensation.
I've been known for my yellow fever, so.
So I've been on 5 Contiki trips. My first one was through New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
Now, just to clarify, I loved all of them. And I'm going to hopefully get some people on the podcast from each trip. That's my plan, is to get one from each trip. So first one was through New Zealand. Second one was through Greece and the Greek islands. Third one was the camping one, the original, which was right through fucking all of mainland Europe.
I've done part of that.
Yeah. Did you do the northern part?
Yeah.
Yeah, you poor cunt. Cause,
time,
when you jump onto that one, it sucks because cunts have been together for like 20 days.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like,
it was so
God.
shit.
Yeah. And then I stayed in Amsterdam with mates, and then with mates from back home, went through Scandinavia and Russia. And then, last year we did the Asian Sensation one. Now, you were on the last probably week or so, weren't you, of the trip?
There's a reason behind that. So I was actually I booked that last minute. I wasn't even meant to go on it because I actually had been booked to go to North Korea. That was,
Ooh,
but then
bloody hell.
Alex,
what's been going on in Kim Jong-un this week? The poor cunt.
Oh, it's like weekend at Bernie's, I reckon.
Yeah, so you were meant to go to the delightful NK.
Yeah, but then fucking that Alex
Cow
Sigley
country.
guy decided to get fucking abducted, and they had to cancel last minute.
Hell. Good one, dickhead. Thanks for fucking up me trip, cunt.
Yeah, he didn't even steal a poster, the wank.
So, you joined in on our Asian Sensation for the last, 7 days or something? 6 days?
In the middle,
days,
before you
like
guys pissed off to Vietnam.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, I didn't go to Vietnam. The other guys did. But how much did you get with us? You probably got a solid 4 or 5 days with us, didn't you?
No, it was like 8 or 9.
Oh, there you go. Fuck. Time flies when you're
We
having
did
fun.
Cambodia, Laos. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I was going to do the
Laos and
Vietnam part, but
Cambodia.
I'd already been there, so I was like, nah.
Yeah. So I've told a couple of people that listen to the podcast because, like I said, I've done, the 5 Contiki tours and I've loved them all, and there's some stories that I could tell from every single one. But what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to get people on from those trips and I can let them tell the stories because, they're part of that trip. But our trip, oh boy, you're the first one on. First of all, thank you for coming on because you're the first person that's actually not local that's actually come on the podcast for starters. We were going to get Dusty or Brandon on. Brandon, because we'd been speaking for a while about doing a podcast for like a year or so, just on and off. And Dusty, because he contacted me because he wanted to get on because he wanted to talk about COVID in USA because it's a bit fucked cunt over there right now.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, there's some few people listening that want to hear my infamous story. I've talked it up a little bit, and this is in my opinion, out of the 5 Contikis I've done, you're looking at probably 100 days worth of travel. Probably 80 to 100 days worth of travel. This story is absolutely my fucking favourite story. Now, we're not going to name anyone out of respect.
Yeah, we won't shame anyone.
We won't name and shame anyone. But, we were both probably, our whole group was pretty tight-knit. So I'm sure if anyone there's listening to this that aware of it or whatever. But we're probably pretty good to be able to talk about it because we know the fellas involved.
Well, that's it, yeah.
So, yeah. Do you wanna tell the story?
Well, just before I say that, I was got to say, every fucking holiday I have been on, something fucked up has to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm like at work, I'm known as the shit magnet.
You're
But even-
the fucking voodoo doll of fucking...
I've definitely killed a fucking Chinaman. That's just the fact.
You started fucking COVID, didn't you? You can't.
Look, I don't want to fucking... Don't show
Look,
me
it
out
wasn't
like
me.
that. We just need
wasn't
to
me,
edit
don't
this
show
part
me.
out, yeah?
But yeah, I mean, the reason I'm getting you to tell the story, we'll start with the Cambodian, obviously the Cambodian one. The reason I'm getting you
Classic.
to tell the story is that you were probably closest with the person. So
Well, that's it, yeah. It's the only person that could put up with me on the trip.
yeah, hey, I'm here.
So it's kind of like... It was a bit of karma in one way.
Yep.
And it was a bit of bad decisioning, and it's a bit of how fucking corrupt that country is.
Yep.
But it's pretty much started as like... Old mate, we'll just refer to him as.
Yeah, old mate. That's fine.
Lost
That works.
something. He lost something, and he wanted to put in... To go back home to get insurance, you got to like put in a claim. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I've done it a
So,
million times.
so
I've
if it was
lost
like
everything.
an iPad or something like that you lose or something, you claim insurance.
That's right. But you need a police statement.
Yes.
Right. Even if it's in fucking hippy-dippy or whatever they speak. you know.
Yes. Yes.
And I've done it before. Genuine. Like I've been fucking... I went to
Oh,
Bali.
what did you actually lose? What did...
Well, I got fucking robbed 3 times in Bali in 7 days. Or 5 days.
Oh, wow. No
Yeah.
wonder you had a fucking bad... Remember how I was saying... Oh, no, was that... I was going to Phuket after that, and you said something bad about Bali, I'm pretty sure.
Phuket, awesome. Bali, shithole.
You fucking hated it.
It's the Phuket. It's like the fucking... It's like if Phuket wanted to be Phuket. It's just terrible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just don't
Anyway,
get the track.
continue.
Anyway,
Continue
so
with the
fucking
story.
old mate,
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
lost his iPad or something like that. He lost something. Anyway,
I know what it was. It was a laptop.
It was a laptop. That's it, and that was genuine, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
No. No,
was
it
it?
was not.
Oh, it wasn't. Yeah, anyway, so he did lose. No, he did lose something, and was going to put a claim for that. And then I think I sort of was like, oh, I remember I was in Bali, and I sort of added to it a little bit, and you get a little.
Oh, of course. If you can get a bit back from the insurance companies, fuck them.
Fucking oath.
It's like
Anyway.
the government. Give me that money, boy.
Well, we got a tuk-tuk. We got a tuk-tuk over there, and we ended up go to the local police station.
So, you're the best to tell this story because we're not mentioning names, but you were there. You were actually physically there.
I was there and I was detained. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Detained overseas. That's all you need to know, boys.
It's not the first time either. But anyway, we get to this. We ask this tuk-tuk driver who doesn't speak a word of English, and he take us to the police station. So we rock up to this police station, and it's the local police station. They got 2 types of police there, and a lot of them third world countries do. They got tourist police and the normal police.
Oh,
So-
right. Okay, I didn't know that.
They took us. I'll send you a photo after. Actually, you'll have a fucking lark. We rocked up to this fucking shed. It didn't have doors. It was like on wood with a colorbond top, and that's it. And there was like a fan in there. There was like a guy sitting without his shirt on. There was like no one was in fucking uniform. And then we go, but they all had guns. That was one thing they fucking definitely had. And I go up and I'm like, "Is this the police station?" And he's like, "Yeah." And there was like no internet, no electricity there. I'm like, "Oh, we just need to like report something." He's like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" I'm like, "Oh, we're from Sydney." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, you need to go to the tourist police." So that was that. I can't stress to you how fucking shit this place looked. There was like garbage bags as walls.
So basically, they have a decent tourist cops, but not local cops.
Well, the local cops, he was really nice. Don't get me wrong, but he just looked he just looked
no
terrible.
money.
There's no money. Yeah, they looked. Yeah. So we went to the tourist police, which was a nice-ish building.
Yeah, not the Ibis. You're looking at probably 3.5 star.
Yeah, so like a Ridges.
Yeah.
No, shitty
You're
Ridges.
just like, fuck it, I'm going to call them out by names.
Campbelltown Ridges. I've stayed there, I know.
Yeah.
Nah, fucking... Yeah, so we went there. Anyway, and then fucking... As soon as we get there, he says what happened. And I was like, oh, fuck, I might cash in on this too. So I'm like, oh, did you lose something as well? I'm like, yeah. Anyway, they split us up straight away. I'm like, oh, no, we're fucked now. Put me in a room with some guy, some corrupt as fuck cop, police officer, and he's like going, what have you lost? And I'm like, oh, did I say I lost something? I'm like, nah, it wasn't me, man. Thank God, I was lucky. And then he's like, all right, what happened to your friend? Did he lose something? And I'm like, I don't know if he's fucking backtrack on his story. I don't know if he's fucking actually
you got no
said.
idea what's going on.
So
because it was a false fucking claim.
And I'm like, nah, he lost something. I swear to God, he lost something. So there was some genuineness in it. And I said, look, I don't remember anything. I was drunk. That's all I can say. I don't want to throw him under the bus. and I don't want to fucking, admit to something and then him get more fucked over. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm just like, I was drunk. He's like, so did he lose something? I'm like, all I remember is that he came back to the hotel and he was really upset. I don't know what about. I was fucking drunk. And then every time this cop was grilling me, and I'm like, I was drunk. I just kept saying that. And then I'm like, he's like, so you didn't lose anything? And I'm like, no. And then he's like, because putting in a false claim is up to is a year in prison. And he's like, and your embassy can't help you. And I'm just like, and then my heart just fucking, I just shit it out really. And then fucking,
is that the scariest you've ever been overseas? Like, for real?
Yes and no, but that's definitely
it's definitely up there.
Definitely up there. And but yeah, like as in the most fucked up situation I've ever been in, definitely. Like, so I was about to get arrested by this like 2-foot Cambodian police officer who would still fucking take me on very happily.
It's so fucking funny because, like, regardless of whether old mate actually had something, whether he'd lost or not, I know for a fact that the cunt was doing a false claim. And the best part is that you put your hand up to be like, "Ooh, I can get something out of this," and then you're like, "Oh fuck, I've got myself in too deep here."
Well, fucking luckily, this is like he says, "All right, go."
Yep. So he's kept old mate in the other room, and you've gone.
And I've tried to go into the other room, and the fucking guard physically pushed me out of the room and slammed the door.
Oh, bullshit.
Nah, there was 3 of them, and they were interrogating him, and I saw old mate, and he looked fucked, and I'm just like, nah. So I'm waiting out the front, and the tuk-tuk driver's still there, because I asked him to wait. And he's let me drive his tuk-tuk in circles in front of the cop shop.
Are you shitting me?
Nah, I got photos of it, man. Fuck, swear to God. and then the police officer comes out and yells at me, saying, "You don't have a license, get off before I book you," pretty much. And I'm like,
that's so fucking funny. You're just like, you know what? I just risk jail, but fuck it. I'm doing some fucking doughies in front of the
my plan was just to go get pissed as fuck. Anyway, I'm waiting. I knock on the door again, and they pretty much abuse me. And I'm just like, I had a flight coming up, which was my flight? I can't remember. I think that was the one to Thailand after because that was the end of the trip. Yeah, that's it. Not the one that I missed in Laos because I'm a fuckwit. We'll get to that. Anyway, and I tell the tuk-tuk driver, I'm like, please, man, like I had to go for this flight, and I'm like, please, for the love of fuck, like, do not leave my friend. Like, I added him on Facebook, and I gave him like $50 American, which is like big money for them. And then I said, if you take him back, and stay and wait for him, I'll give you another $50, like happily.
Wow. That's awesome. So did you end up giving him 50 when he brought him back?
Yeah, I fucking transferred it to him.
That's amazing.
I kept my word because the guy, and I still got him on Facebook. He messages me sometimes actually.
Oh really? That's cool.
And he fucking and then because old mate was still stuck in the police station. Anyway, eventually fucking I keep calling him, and I'm just about to go off to my plane. Finally, the cunt answers, and he was on his way back home, and he nearly missed his flight because of them, and the cops knew that. So apparently what happened is they threatened to fucking put him in jail, or he had to pay the fine, which was a fucking bribe, funny. And it was $1,000 cash American, or something.
Oh wow!
Or 600 or 800. It was a lot of money.
But he had to pay that, didn't he?
He had to get it transferred over, and then give it. And like the cop took him to the fucking ATM machine, held his passport, gave him the money, gave him his passport back. They said, "Never come back here." Fuck him off, and he went
holy
home.
Fuck! It's so. I'm sorry. Like I love the guy involved. He was so much fun. But holy fuck, that is so funny. Holy shit, I lost my mind. But okay, can you tell the other part of this story? Do you want to tell the other part of this story?
What's the other part?
The previous part of this story.
You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
Cambodia, loose night, old mate.
Oh, wait. I'm trying to get to this
because this story is a two-parter in my opinion, and that's the funniest part. But there's also another funny part that involves old mate.
Oh, what are you talking about? I'm trying to think because like that whole holiday was a bit of a blur because of like 20-cent beers, but like.
Rightio. I'll send it to you over Facebook. I love it. As soon as I type it out, you're like, yes, this part's funny.
Yeah, fucking. Oh, that's right. Oh, I don't want to fucking. Anyway, look. All right.
We don't want to implicate old mate. We don't want to implicate old mate. But once again, you were someone that was close to it. You know, so you were closer to it than what I was. So,
fucking yeah.
Look, it's still the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Old mate had some fucking questionable women back to our fucking hotel.
Yes.
And old mate was having a bit of a shag. You know, God bless him. Why not?
And just to clarify, this was in Cambodia. As you just try and like picture a girl, you know, questionable females.
No, actually, no.
Classic
One was
Aussie
actually like
story.
super fucking hot. Like I was pretty impressed
really?
because he got the double deal. So fucking because I remember
got
we
2
went
for
out
1.
we went out the night before. Anyway, and we had a real loose night, and I ended up getting like super fucking sick. You know, too many nangs, too many fucking beers, and I just went straight. And by the way,
Yeah, because nangs over there are like legal, and like
they're legal
everyone
over
does
here.
them. How crazy is that? Oh, is it legal here?
No, it's like technically, like it's one of them under the counter sort of situations.
Yeah, but they don't do it under the counter over there, dude. They have fucking balloons and shit that they sell to you. With
Oh
fucking
yeah, that's
knots
just
in it.
because they just pay off the fucking licensing police. You know,
They don't give a fuck.
it's illegal,
over there, do
but
they?
it's just they just don't give a shit, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, old mate, he's bought some questionable.
Anyway, yeah, because I went back to the hotel because I was sick as a dog.
Yep.
And fucking I don't sleep well on holidays, so I fucking was like trying to sleep and I couldn't. Anyway, and the fucking. Anyway, can I just put it out there quickly that not all fucking mental health RNs are this fucked up, and I'm very professional, thank you. Anyway, yeah. Anyway,
Hey, you gotta have a bit of fun in life, and you know, I will always respect someone that is, you know, will have just some fun with life because there's a lot of boring stale cunts out there, bro.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's
Mate,
fine.
I've got in some questionable situations with some of the fucking consulting doctors before. It's just a fact. Anyway, so fucking he knocks the door down and fucking there's these one gorgeous woman and one very, very questionable woman, like, and he's fucking.
Oh, you big boy.
And the whole trip, because this cunt, he's a handsome bastard. You can't deny it.
Yeah, I'd
He's
say that the old mate's a good-looking bloke,
He's
and
a
he's
good-looking bloke.
you know, he's got a rig on him. That's for sure.
He's fucking fit. So like I was used to him just fucking like, and me fucking didn't fuck at all the whole trip. And it's the story of my life every Contiki. And
hey, wait until I get someone on for my New Zealand one, and I'll tell you the story about how I barred myself from every female on the first night. It's so good. I'll tell you specifically after this. But anyway, continue.
Problem with me is people got to get to know me for about 2 weeks before they actually like me.
Oh, bullshit. It was like 3 days, and I'm like, this cunt's alright.
Yeah, that's anyway, so fucking this cunt was pulling tens, you know, like when we were in Laos, there was this fucking woman who just come over and just fuck him and leave, and I'm like, that's a perfect arrangement. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Except I was trying to sleep.
Yep.
And he wouldn't let me join in. Fuck with. Anyway, I was like, just the pinky man. Nah, not interested. Anyway, fucking.
So funny.
So he brings back these 2 women and he's fucking going to town on them. Anyway, and it was very short-lived for whatever reason, probably whiskey dick or something, I don't know. Anyway, and he's fucking trying to kick him out of the room, but these fucking women are refusing to leave.
Yep, so they stayed, yeah?
No, they didn't fucking stay. We got the cunts out of there.
Oh,
Here I am in my pink fucking underwear telling them to leave and fuck off. And they're threatening us with the Cambodian mafia, whatever the fuck that is. And they're like, no, you rip us off. We want the more money. And I'm like, no, just piss off. We fucking. And then old mate's like, I already paid you. And I'm like, did you pay them? He's like, yeah, I paid them more. And I'm just like, and I ended up just flipping them 50 and telling them to, you know, pretty much go fuck themselves, and they left.
That's fucking... oh my god, it's so funny. Because this whole story is around one old mate. It's like within a day period. Like this part happened first, and then the laptop part happened.
Yeah, and then I missed a flight all in between that.
Oh, it's
and then I
fucking
had to
gold.
fork out and get another flight, and there was one seat left. If not, I was going to have to get a fucking bus. God forbid.
So what was the outcome of them leaving? What did you find the next morning that makes this story so perfect?
Well, that they took our shit.
Yes.
Not only did we pay these bitches to fuck off, because we were drunk, we don't remember shit, man. Like, and I was half asleep when they kicked the door down.
Oh, it's so fucking funny.
Fuck, our passports were there. You
Oh
know,
my
it doesn't
God.
matter.
Yeah,
I always lose shit on holidays.
Oh, dude, I lost my
fact of life.
passport in Rome at a cafe. I left my bag there with everything in it, right? And then I've got on a bus to get to the Contiki group, and I've realised, oh, fuck, where's my bag? Holy shit. And I was like, fuck. I went back to the cafe, and ended up getting it, and everything was all okay. But I went back to the camp and had a fucking panic attack. It was weird. Like, I was fine on the way there. Like, I had one of those moments where I was like, okay, if I can't find it, I've got to go to the embassy. It is what it is, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But once I got back to camp, I just had this mad panic attack. It was fucking weird.
Oh, that's a shit thing, man. It's
the only time I've ever had a panic attack, and it was very. I feel for people that fucking get that all the time, kind of thing.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. Remember how I said this was the second scariest thing that's ever happened to me on holiday?
Oh my god! Please tell me the fucking first.
The first thing is I have only ever had one panic attack in my life, and it was when I was overseas, and it was in Thailand. I ended up in the hospital because I thought I was dying. It was fucked up.
Oh wow! Well, I actually ended up in hospital in Greece, and
yeah, but you just had chlamydia.
Yeah, well, you got to get it checked. So it's what it is. You big boy. Those Cambodian hookers,
like the
pornos. Those Cambodian hookers flew over to Greece.
Oh fuck, man! If you're lucky if you just walked away with chlamydia.
Oh god, yeah. I'm sorry. That story from within a probably a 2-day period, and we're missing a little bit here. So what happened when between those two things you missed a flight, right? Why was that the case?
Because I didn't sleep and I was fucking still drunk when I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
And then ran to the bus. Could see all you cunts on it. Got on the bus, and then I go, holy shit, my passport's still in the safe, and all my fucking money and all my Visa cards.
Yep.
And I'm practically broke.
So you had to go all the way back to the hotel, get your stuff, because we were on a flight that day.
That's
You've just
right.
missed the flight. And what did you end up doing?
Oh fuck yeah! So that's it. And so I've made friends with this tuk-tuk driver who I also still have on fucking Facebook. I just make.
Wait, is this the same one?
This is a different one. Another tuk-tuk.
Oh god, you're a tuk-tuk slut.
I am, and this guy was amazing. Like he's such a top bloke. He still messages me as well. He's a really nice guy.
Yep.
Shout out to Nan. That's his
name.
Nan.
Mad cut.
On your Nan. And he anyway, he got me in the tuk-tuk and he sped back to the hotel. Got it. Literally, the gates had just closed when we got back to use.
Fuck, that is so funny.
I was paying this guy. I'm like,
missed.
fucking please keep going. He's like, nah, man, we'll get you back. Don't worry. Obviously, he didn't say it like that at all. But he spoke pretty good English. Anyway, and then I went back and I'm trying to book another flight and Jasmine's trying to help me, our Contiki manager.
Yep.
She couldn't book me one and then found me one. And then eventually this guy fucking booked me a flight. But it was like in 6 hours.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, he's like, well, I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? And he's like, you want to go get lunch? And I'm like, yeah, all right. He takes me to meet his family and we have lunch in this like small little village like just out of town. And then I'm like, well, what is there to do now? And he's like, you want to go shoot some coconuts with an AK-47? I'm like, yeah, fucking let's go. So then we went and did that. And then
that's so amazing. What guns did you shoot out of curiosity? You shot an AK, yeah?
In Cambodia, just an AK.
Yeah, I've never shot a gun.
Really?
I want to do that before I die,
that's
for sure. You need to do
I've
something. Yeah, you need to shoot something. Have you ever shot any other guns over there?
In Thailand, I've shot like a assault rifle, and like I think it was like an M16 and a Glock and a Beretta, and then I used to do shooting when I was younger in cadets. So I used to
okay,
rifles.
Yep. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you know how last night we were doing like a little bit of a prep for this episode? We were talking about stories and stuff, and you know how I mentioned like. I don't want to tell too many stories from other trips on my end because I want to get the people on to tell them. Do you have any other trip stories that you can go through?
I got. There's a few, but there's two big ones. There's one when I went to China and did my nursing exchange. Yep. I saw some cool things, and there's one when I went to New Zealand and it involves a Tinder date, CPR, and not getting laid.
That sounds like my fucking casual Tuesday. I mention that every time, but I have a mad Tuesday, a mad casual Tuesday. All right, so tell the first one then. I'll let you take over. Let's do a little Lockie takeover.
All right, I'll do a funny one, so no one judges me, and then we can talk about the serious one.
Who cares if people judge you? The only person that can judge you is God. Okay, continue.
Well, when I was in New Zealand, I went to New Zealand by myself, and I was just there for a few days, and I was in Auckland, and I had Tinder, and I was talking to this girl from back home. I was talking to this girl from back home, and she was over there, and she was absolutely beautiful. Seriously, it was so far out of my league, it was ridiculous.
Yep.
And she finally
Don't
agreed.
say that, you gorgeous little bastard. Continue.
Thank you, mate. She finally agreed to go on a date with me, and it was going swimmingly. It was really going well. Anyway, and we went and got something to eat, and then we went to this bar, and they had live music and stuff. and we were going to start drinking. And I was just about to take my first sip of my beer. I hadn't drank yet. We had a coffee before that, nice and respectable. This fucking cunt comes out from the next door KFC and has a heart... Oh, I don't know if he had a heart attack. I assume, with everything I know, he's had a heart attack and just drops dead.
Oh, bullshit.
Nah, I swear, my hand to God, I swear on my family's life, that's what happened. I'm on a Tinder date. Anyway, so I just fucking run over because I'm a nurse and sort of try to be helpful. And the cunt's he's not breathing. Well, it's what you call agarol breathing. He's breathing once every 30 seconds and it's very pressured and he's not there anymore. He's not responding. Okay. I'm screaming at him.
Yep.
Anyway, so obviously what you have to do is start doing CPR. So I started doing that and thank God this other guy came up to me and he was a Maori. He was a firefighter. So we were doing rounds of CPR and some other person was calling the ambulance and they were on their way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're doing CPR and the cunt's just not well. He's not good. He's responding to it. He's still alive, obviously, but he's not doing fantastically. And,
so what do you reckon he's had? Just a stroke or a heart attack or something like that?
Stroke of bad luck. No, it's a terrible joke.
A stroke of not getting me laid, cunt. Fuck you.
No, that fucking he probably had a heart attack. Anyway, and we're going at it, and his wife's sitting there, hysterics.
So you're going at it, and his wife's watching. So you are a little cuck.
Here gotcha. I am fucking trying to be all good, fucking trying to save a cunt's life, and automatically your brain goes to having a fuck.
It's beautiful,
because that's the after story.
Anyway, please continue, sir.
There's one way you can repay me for that. Anyway, so we're fucking doing rounds of CPR. Anyway, and I'm screaming, someone get me an ECG. Not an ECG, sorry, a fucking a defibrillator. And they get us one from the KFC, and it's fucking put it on the cunt, out of battery. I'm like, you fucking serious? I'm where the fuck am I right now? This is New Zealand. This is not the way. And then eventually someone else gets me a defibrillator, and we defibrillate him and shock him and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then the ambulance arrive and take him away. So he was still alive at the time of going, and then I went and spoke to his wife and stuff like that and trying to calm her down, but she was fucked. Though actually, it sort of hit a strong note because they were Aussie tourists in New Zealand as well.
Oh, right, okay.
And he wasn't old. He was probably 50.
Right, shit.
60 tops 60.
Yep. And do you know if he survived?
I don't know. I didn't want to ask her if, I'm oh, can I have your number and I'll just message her, see how you go? Because she was in hysterics. I was because I really wanted to know. I don't know if he survived or not. I just really don't know. Which is pretty fucked up. And it sort of played on my mind a little bit. But anyway. But yeah, well, that
is what it is, mate. You did the best. You did the best you could do.
Oh, with assholes hanging around going, oh, no, you need to do CPR on the left side of the chest. I'm like, where the fuck are you? And then someone's like, oh, no, you got to keep doing the breaths. Breaths are not that important, really. It's the compressions that are the most important thing, unless it's...
Oh, correct. Yeah. We just did fucking CPR shit, recently, and the guy, it happens to be one of my best mates' dads, actually, that teaches the course, and he's like, yeah, apparently, Australia's one of the only countries in the world that still does rescue breaths or something. And so basically, what that's saying is they're fucking useless.
It's because we're waterlocked, and there's a lot of times where breathing can help when it's a drowning. That's why we have it. But in the everyday situation, it's the compressions that is the most important.
Of course, yeah. So continue the story. What happened, boy?
Anyway, so and I had these cunts coming around. Can I just put it out there, anyone listening? If you are not contributing
all three people
to the situation,
including my mum,
my sister said she might listen.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
If you're not contributing to the situation, fuck off. Don't start saying your opinion like you're a Harry hero when you have no idea what you're talking about.
It's frustrating. I can only imagine
kill someone.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, my mate's dad was mentioning in the CPR course that doing something's better than nothing, but at the same time, if you're standing there giving recommendations, if you're not CPR trained, then fuck off.
Well, that's the thing. Some guy was like, I'm the first aider at work, and I'm like, I'm an RN, fuck off. And I'm like, unless you're a doctor, I'm not going to be taking any advice from you.
Yeah.
Or
that's fair enough. I mean, you're in the
nurse or something.
Correct. Yeah.
Anyway, so now the funny part of the story, if I can go back to this guy fucks.
Wait, that wasn't the funny part. The fact that you were fucking a guy in front of his wife. You're a little cuck. That's not the funny part.
No, it gets more fucked up than that.
Oh, beautiful. Keep going.
The worst part of the story is I don't know if anyone wants to hear it, but fucking.
Yeah, everyone wants to hear it.
Fucking ended up the girl who I was with on the Tinder date. comes back to me and she was crying. She's like, "Oh my god, that was so heroic." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, this is how pornos start."
Yeah, where's the pizza box? Bring in the pizza box. I'm the pizza guy.
Anyone order a large pepperoni? Yeah, fucking. Anyway, and she's like, I was meant to go to uni, but I cancelled it. Let's hang out. I'm like, oh, done. In.
Yep.
Anyways,
you're like, thank you, Jesus, for sacrificing this man in front of me so I can get some pussy.
Well, she was pretty hot, and I'm like, fucking. Anyway, and I'm like, anyway, so we hang out all night. Then, like, you know, fucking me and the fire area, the pub heroes, fucking everyone's like buying us beers, and it's just a really nice feeling. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And and then obviously by proxy, she's getting free drinks. We're going at it. Later that night, we ended up making friends with these other people. We went out clubbing and had a great time. Anyway. Yep. And I'm like, oh, it's getting pretty late. What's happening? Blah, blah. She's like, oh, do you want to come stay at mine? I'm like, done.
You're like, let me think about that for like 0.1 of a second. Yes.
I guess so. Anyway, so we get an Uber. It's like in a suburb in New Zealand, so far away.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is this a suburb of Auckland, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And I just don't know where the fuck it is. Anyway, and if I can get an Uber, she gets an Uber there. Mm-hmm. And I come along for the ride and then go to her house and then cock blocked. Boom. Nothing happens.
Cock blocked by what?
Her. She just wasn't keen. Which is, that's fair enough. But, I thought it was a sure thing. I really did.
Why the fuck? It happened in Wedding Crashers. Will Ferrell did it. This is bullshit.
That's what I mean. Exactly. I was like, oh. I'm like, I'm pretty, like, and I spoke to, like, I got a lot of friends with the girls and I messaged and I'm like, like, if you're on a Tinder date and a man fucking does CPR and like potentially save someone's life, or at least kept him alive for longer than he was meant to.
Does that make you
put
horny?
Out? Would you put out? They're like, yeah.
Does that make you horny, baby?
I'd put out. I'm just like, thank you.
You're like, yeah.
I felt betrayed.
That is so funny that you got like.
She just went cold fish on me. I'm like, oh,
you got honey dicked by a guy who fucking had a heart attack.
Anyway,
that's brilliant.
the end of that story. That's it.
What's your other bad boy? Your other bad boy. Another story.
When I was in China.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like just lots of things about China. Like I was so.
Oh, is this the time that you were in China and you were testing viruses and then you released one to the public of Wuhan? Is that the story you're telling?
Yeah, just again, we're just gonna have to fucking edit that one out. Now this one involves another. No, I'm kidding. No, it was just interesting. Like fucking, I was there for a student exchange for my nursing practice.
Yep.
And just the way they do things over there, like it's pretty fucked up. And I ended up actually becoming a patient myself because I got sick, and I got like really bad laryngitis. But it did not require a hospital admission. But because they're fucking communists, they're like, oh no, fucking, we need to show them the best side of everything. Fucking take them to the doctor, take them to the best hospital. I went to the international hospital. I had my own room. My medicine was served on fucking silver cups. It was pretty extra.
That's cool.
When I forced discharged myself, they sent a nurse home to my dormitory or wherever it was, staying like a hotel sort of thing on the uni campus, and like made her like watch me to make sure I didn't die, which I wasn't going to. I just had like a fucking glorified throat infection. Yep. They're just pretty extra.
Do you have any cool China stories? It's probably the fucking perfect time to talk about it, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, that's it. They ended up in hospital there and fucking got the fucking all that shit, and just some of the weird shit I saw there. Like, I was.
Hey, did you see any of that? Did you see any like propaganda or any like them shutting shit down or
everywhere propaganda?
Yeah.
Well, actually, what's funny? I was in Wuhan, which is
bullshit. Are you shitting me?
No,
you're actually there.
I was at Tongji University Hospital.
That's fucking incredible. The fact that you were there.
It was pretty fucked.
And then years later, you released the fucking coronavirus. That's amazing, dude.
Well, I went
that's
to that
amazing.
Stupid market that they fucking apparently it came from.
Oh shit! So this is just fucking lining up perfectly, isn't it?
Oh, it's a bit fucked. It was 4 years ago, guys. Just to clarify, so I'm fucking pretty safe.
Yes. Imagine if you were the target source. It's like it was.
Maybe they sent it back with me in like a time delay.
Fucking cunts.
And because they knew I'd be working in a hospital and just spread that shit.
The fucking dogs.
Fucking slanty-eyed. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, got any more stories for me?
Oh, just some of the comparisons to like healthcare in China. Something like fucking, like there were doctors smoking in the hospital. Like,
did they have the social system there at the time? The points system thing or whatever it is?
No, I don't think so. They probably had like an underlining one, but they didn't have the formal one set up.
Okay. Yeah. It's fucking strange, isn't it, bro? Like, imagine that shit. My social standing would be like negative 10,000.
Just some of the friends I've had would just put me down the bottom, eh? Like, and maybe that fucking whole Cambodian situation.
Yeah, they just go back through podcast and they're like, "Oh, we got you, cunt.
Cunt.
You're on negative 10."
He's getting the IBIS budget.
Yes, it's beautiful. Hey, do you want to switch to, like I said, bipolar podcast? Let's. You're the perfect person, I think, to talk to about mental health. Obviously, it's your field. COVID at the moment, everyone so far on the podcast has had a crack. I've had so many friends that have inboxed me that haven't even been part of the show. Obviously, it's the biggest part of fucking society at the moment. I mean, it's right smack bang in our face.
It's pretty fucked.
And the American guy that was on our trip, wanted to jump on and talk specifically about that topic. So I just thought maybe we could end with talking about COVID and mental health and stuff. Like,
yeah, where we start?
Well, let's start with mental health side of things. How do you feel? I guess how do you think mental health how do you feel like mental health is going at the moment? In terms of like the last few years that you've been working, and how do you think that it's going to go over the next 6 months or whatever?
Well, so mental health in Australia is quite a significant issue. We're one of the most depressed countries in the world, and I'm pretty sure we have the highest percentage of like mood-related disorders, even outstanding compared to like the UK and America and stuff like that. So like by proxy, we're just not a very happy country.
That's interesting because the whole idea of the culture behind Australia is that we're laid back larrikins and we feel we're feel good people. So it kind of goes against that culture. It's. But I mean, like, I'm not going to argue with the fucking stats, eh? But yeah, it's just interesting.
Well, it's 1 in 5, really. So that has some sort of mental illness that lasts for more than a year, and obviously people.
Fuck me, and the population's like 25 million. That's like 5 million people.
That's what I mean. It's pretty significant. I mean, 1, keeps me in a job, but 2, it's just pretty fucked because the funding for mental health is not, it's good, but it's not like we just can't help everyone. It's impossible.
I was literally thinking about that a couple of days ago in the car. On the way to KFC, guys. I wasn't breaking social isolation. Thanks for letting me know. I was just getting a zinger stacker. All right, guys. I got a zinger stacker.
Fucking dirty bird.
I got a zinger stacker, and I may have got, I don't know, some popcorn chicken and something else because I'm a fat cunt. But anyway, continue. I was thinking about the other day mental health in terms of does it get to a point where so many people are fucking affected by it that there's not enough help to help those people? And then also I was thinking, how psychologists have psychologists that they go to. Like, fuck, is there going to be a breaking point? Or is there going to be like... I'm pretty... This is coming from someone that's not in the field, just throwing some thoughts out there kind of thing.
I love mental health. Like, when I started nursing, I worked in dementia, which is not mental health. It's cognitive issues. I understand that. But we also nursed people with like comorbidity of a mental illness. And then when I graduated and went to uni and finished that shit, I ended up working in a mental health ward. And that's where I still work now. And I've nearly finished my master's of mental health. And it's fucking, it's really fucked up actually. Like, I won't name where I work or anything like that, but I work in a really busy Sydney hospital. And, and there's just like, we're just turning people away. That's insane. There's no beds.
That's insane.
But there is beds, but can be a whole topic on itself. But it's something called inappropriate admissions when it comes to mental health.
Yep. What does that mean?
So there's like there's the vast spectrum of different mental health disorders: depressive disorders, substance related, OCD, personality disorders, anxiety disorders, neurodevelopmental disorders, blah blah blah. But sadly enough, our hospital system is flooded with this thing called personality, with different types of personality disorders, right?
Yep. Can you give me an example of what?
Borderline personality disorder.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have, yeah.
It is a mental illness, yes, but it's categorized by people who suffer from like having trouble perceiving and relating to like different situations that they're in and suffer. They sort of have like, it's like bipolar on steroids pretty much. They just have that labile mood. You know what I mean? That goes like up and down, up and down, up and down, and they're very risky people. They're ones who engage in the self-harm, the suicidal tendencies, to an extent, the antisocial side of things as well, like the aggression and the abuse towards other people.
Yep.
Manipulation.
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
Obviously, you work in the mental health ward. I don't really know how to phrase this, but I'll try. At what stage do you believe that a person requires actual 24/7 care in mental health? Like, where's the point between someone at home who just gets anxious sometimes and someone who is self-harming and needs to be looked after 24/7? Like, where does that line get drawn usually? Like, can you go into that a little bit?
So from a clinical stance of what I am paid to do, it is literally when there is at risk to themselves or others. It's as blunt as that. When there is some form of risk and there is a chance of loss of life, we have to admit these people and schedule them and put them under the Mental Health Act and keep them in hospital against their will.
Yeah. So for example, if someone is not at risk technically under that definition or whatever, but they go to a therapist, once or twice a week or whatever, that's completely different to someone who actually has to be institutionalized, I assume.
That's right. So, not institutionalized. It's just we need to take care of these people, the people who actually need help, might I add. We need to take care of these people to an extent of where they are at risk of doing something very bad to themselves or something very bad to other people. So that might present as in they are so psychotic that they don't know what they're doing, that they could run in front of traffic and harm themselves. That could also be that they are so depressed that they may kill themselves. That could mean that they're so labile in mood that they could engage in deliberate self-harm. However, there is a significant risk that could create death or like other significant issue. It's pretty much is that when that person is not, because you can be admitted to a mental health ward, a voluntary patient. That means that you have something significantly wrong with your mental state and you're willing and wanting to have the help. However, it's pretty much just the identification of when there's that risk is so significant that if we send this person home, something very bad is going to happen and we just don't want to take that risk, so we need them to stay in hospital.
Yep. Your opinions on specific things, and like I said, we don't want to name your work and I don't want to get you in trouble or anything like that, but I'm just curious to know whether your opinions on mental health seem to mirror what most people's do, or do you have any not necessarily controversial, but against the grain kind of opinions on anything, or something that you're really passionate about and, want to send a message to people or anything like that?
I love mental health. It's the whole reason I got into nursing. But the one thing in particular that I think is just we over-medicate because it is the cheap option. And so doctors will meet a patient and they will assess them for a very short amount of time, maybe being 20 minutes to an hour. And after that, they formulate a whole opinion that this patient needs to be on this medicine, put them on that medicine, which is a Band-Aid fix, is destined to fail, because our mental health system is so corrupted and there's so little of funding that it is a cheaper option to have someone medicated than to have someone engage in the proper talking therapy that will actually assist their mental state.
Yep. Now, do you think that people have to be on drugs though certain specific times?
Yes. Medicine has their role to play. It does, but it is overprescribed.
Okay. Yeah. I from someone out, from someone that's not in the field, I that's just what my gut kind of tells me as well, is that, you think of a doctor's office whenever you go there for a flu or anything, they spend, 10, 20 minutes max with you, get you something and fuck you off, because they're trying to fit so many different schedules into one day. It is what it is, people just don't have the time. Some people unfortunately can't afford, I'm sure there's fucking people, like you said before with the socioeconomic status, poorer people tend to have more mental health. Well, that fucks things because they don't have the money to go to therapy.
That's right. And that's actually the most disgusting thing about it, is that and I see this all the time, is I see people who are quite well, but they have some sort of issue, and I can see that it's going to snowball down the hill eventually, it's going to snowball and they're going to become unwell and they're going to get, worse, more risky behavior and X, Y, Z. But it could have been stopped at the point of where if they went to, say, therapy and did CBT or DBT with a psychologist, it wouldn't go that far. However,
have you ever had? Sorry, yeah, you go.
I'm saying, like, even with the government rebate and this whole bullshit of the mental health care plan and having 10 free sessions, which isn't free at all.
Yep.
You're still out of pocket $80 a week minimum, and
why is that the case? Why do they advertise it as free if it's not free? I don't understand.
Because there's probably like one practitioner, being a psychologist, who actually charges that. You know, and you probably could get the free, but the waiting list is a year, and by then it's too late.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's the case of what I said before, you know, it gets to the point where there's so many people, there's not enough help.
There's mental health is a bank. There is so much money to be made in mental health. If you look at the private mental health systems like Ramsay Care and all them, they are making hand over fist money with having these inpatient psychiatric units that are completely voluntary.
Does that mean that there could be like... Sorry, I was just going to say, does it mean that there could be... it could be a case of... them not doing the right thing for money kind of thing? Or?
Well, that's it. And there's greed. Like psychologists, they're charging like, what, $200 an hour. Like, that's just not a necessary figure.
That is insane money, bro. Like, wow.
Oh,
like
well,
$200 an hour. If you work like 30, 40 hours a week, you're going to get paid, son.
Well, they do. That's the problem. It's a big money thing. Like, I know consultants at work who fill out a 15-minute survey online and get $700 for it.
Wow.
No, I'm not even kidding you. That's just fact. And then they get these like massive holidays overseas and shit to do a medical conference. And it's big kickbacks in
oh, dude, don't get me started on money corrupting all. I mean,
yeah,
you know, we're all
fucked.
a part of it. You know, I'd like to think that everyone would like to think that if they were given money or fame or anything that they don't currently have, that, like, let's utilize someone super famous like, I don't know, Justin Bieber or something like that, right? Is super famous, super rich. Everyone thinks that if they were Justin Bieber, they'd do things differently, but would they? Like,
nah,
you know what I mean? If
great,
if I was Jeff, you know, if I was Mark Zuckerberg, perfect example. If I was Mark Zuckerberg, I wouldn't do what he does on Facebook, but would you though?
You don't know that, yeah.
Correct. Well, we don't know, but also it seems to be a pretty good pattern of like a lot of people that have a lot of money doing bad things.
Mm.
You know, it is what it is. Do you have any opinions that you're really firm on in the field, like something that you just won't budge on, like you've just seen enough of it that you go, yeah, this is what it is, or anything like
that? Yeah, I think that, like, I don't know.
Are you open-minded? Are the flip side to it? Are you open-minded to it as well?
Yeah, I think, yeah, some parts are like I'm pretty open-minded to, as I think, you know, it's just, I think mental illness, like people can never assume anything with mental illness, and everyone to an extent, I think, has some sort of, could be easily labelled into a category of mental illness. Is something that I've learned. I think everyone has their problems, and that's fact. I think one thing I'm just so firm on is I think before you come into hospital and before you try to take medicine or something, you should exhaust all other options. I think that's just one of the main things I can tell anybody. I tell like student nurses when I have them. I just think it's very important that you look at mental health as a holistic thing. If you eat shit and don't exercise, you're going to feel shit. That doesn't warrant you being on an antidepressant. Change your lifestyle, and you can, you know, with a healthy body comes a healthy mind. That's something that I'm very set on.
Yep. So basically, what you're saying
Says
is
the binge drinker.
But what you're saying is basically, if you want to try and help yourself, then help yourself in those specific ways. And if you need medicine, you need medicine. The only flip side to it, bro, is that what happens if you are depressed and you just simply can't get up and exercise? What's the attack there?
So that's different. So I'm more thinking of like a mood disorder, like lower end like scale. You know, you're depressed because of situational things. It doesn't mean you need a hospital admission or you need to be on medicine. Whereas, for example, what you're saying right now, if people, we call that like a catatonic state, which means they're so depressed they can't even get out of bed. Yeah, holy fuck, you're going to need medicine. Like, you're probably, like, I don't think, you can't, but the way to look at medicine in that sort of situation as well is to look at it like a pair of crutches for a broken leg. Yep. It doesn't cure what's happening to you. It helps you get through it.
Yep. So I actually, funnily enough, I literally had a conversation with my partner the other day, and we were talking about mental health and stuff. And like I've said this before, like I've gone off on Are You OK Day before because of like the whole idea. I like the idea behind. I love the idea behind Are You OK? But what happens if we're not prepared for the answer the other side? But I just like to check in on my friends. And
too many people just fucking would say, yeah, I'm fine, when they're really, really fucking not.
Yeah. Or I was thinking more so, what happens if I said to you, I haven't heard your delicious, beautiful Guy Sebastian-like voice in a while, but I said to you, Lachlan, you work in mental health, but what happens if I said, how you doing, bro? And you said, 3 days ago I tried to kill myself. You just tried to get that off your chest. Like, I'm not fucking prepared to answer that question.
No fucking way. And no one is. Like,
but the flip side to it is you still have to check in. Like,
that's right.
I'm not knocking that. Like, you definitely have to do that. But yeah, we were talking to my partner the other day. I actually compared the broken leg to mental health in the terms of, any kind of physical thing, like a heart attack or a broken leg or something like that. There's physical pain, and there's something you can identify it by. But mental health, like, as far as I'm aware, the main scale to understand things is to ask questions and say, hey, out of 1 or 10, how do you feel on this and this? But what I was trying to get at is, like, with the broken leg, you can tell if you get 10 people next to each other that have broken legs and they all healed the same, you can see the same amount of healing for every single person. Now, if you put 10 depressed people across a line and they range and they answer their own, they fill their own boxes in from 1 to 10 across the board, but old mate on the left put down a 1, right? Or a 2, right? And then old mate on the right put a 6 or a 5. Like, I feel like a 5 out of 10 at best most days, right? But the thing is, there's no like that's the best that we can do, right? As far as I'm aware, that's the best we can do. But how do we tell that the old mate on the right, their 5 isn't worse than someone's 2? You know what I mean?
That's a very good point. So let me just see if I got you right here. So you're kind of like saying, like, it's very easy to diagnose a broken leg because you take an x-ray and you can physically see there's a broken leg.
Yes.
Right? You can see what type of fracture it may be. You can see how they broke it and blah, blah, blah. When it comes to psychiatric medicine, it's all theory. So, for example, we have a way of diagnosing people, and it's called the Diagnostic of Statistical Medicine, type 5 TVR, whatever the fuck it is. It's a book. If you meet these categories, you have this condition.
Yep.
But even then, if me and you sat together and went through the book, we could diagnose each other with probably 20 different mental illnesses very easily. Everyone, it's just so blasé. It's just not a great way.
I know, but at the end of the day, bro, like, is there any other way to be able to do it? There's not. I often say this to people. I said this to my partner the last few days. Is that, she'll be asking me a question or something, and I'll say something, and she'll be like, blah blah blah, and I'll say, I wish I could, like, pull my fucking brain out just so you could see it, like that. It's hard to explain, but like.
But even then, like, sometimes when people are so.
Don't pull my fucking brain out. This isn't a Simpson episode.
When people have got so significant mental illness, there actually is physiological changes that can happen to the brain. So you can actually see it sometimes, but that's in such the later stages. You know what I mean? But like, yeah. As for like, no, you got to ask questions and try and identify symptoms, and try and correlate them to an illness.
If you had someone that you knew that was quite depressed and anxious and stuff like that, like on a scales, like quite bad, not a like borderline personality disorder or anything like that, but quite depressed and quite anxious, especially during this time, during COVID, right?
Which I do know people like that,
yeah. People's anxiety levels are going to go up. It's just fucking like common sense, right? If people are out there that are anxious or depressed, and you mention, treating your body better, but they don't know how to, or they don't have the energy to, like, how do you combat that?
So
obviously it's going to be hard to answer that question because I haven't got you a patient. Like, I can't just bring you a patient and say, hey, this is the answers. But just in general, like, do you have any tips for COVID? Like the thing that I keep seeing on Channel 7 and stuff is all the celebrities talking about, we're all in this together and all this stuff. And like, one part of me goes, okay, it's nice that they've done that. But then also another part of me sees like people that are better off than, like we said before, like I'm not too bad off socio-economically, but there's people out there that really are, and they fucking see cunts on Channel 7 that are rich that are like, oh yeah, we'll make it through this, you know.
That's right.
So,
and also, like, you know, staying connected at home and all that bullshit. You know, there are a lot of people that just generally don't have any friends and don't have any family, and they're completely isolated. And these can be young people. Like,
it's like it's like they're trying to put a band-aid on every single person, but every person's different. If that makes any sense.
They're just trying their best. It's a fucked situation. There's literally nothing we can really do about it.
Oh, but I can't, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, they're fucking bad people. Like,
No.
Alf from Home and Away, I mean, he does have a rape dungeon,
They're
but he's
appealing
not
to
a
the
bad bloke,
Alf.
you know. But, yeah.
Not even
I was
Mexican, bro.
It was just a video that I seen the other day of Alan complaining about, I don't know whether it was serious or not, but she was saying it's like being in a prison. I'm like, bitch, you got a fucking mansion. Like, what about people that actually can't pay their rent? Like,
yeah. Or lost their
you know what I
jobs
mean? Like,
and
there's
their
that flip
businesses
side
from this
to
shit.
it. Yeah. So, do you have anyone? How are you going through COVID anyway, bro? Like, fuck, what? Let's get personal. How are you doing?
Well, like, I'm doing pretty good because I'm...
What are your noticeable differences at the moment? Like,
Well, see,
anything that you can think of.
Well, I have anxiety, like fact. Like, I have diagnosed anxiety. So I do worry a little bit more than usual. But also...
Does that mean...
Sorry.
Do you mind me asking, and I don't mean to be rude,
No.
obviously anyone can do anything that they set their mind to. I feel that way anyway. But do you think having anxiety is something that is a detriment to your position? Or, like, does it help you?
I think it
does
helps.
It,
That's why I'm in mental
yeah, I was
health,
going to say.
because I sort of, like, I can sympathize and with these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like empathy, you know. You can understand.
You can emphasize. That's the word I was trying to look for. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it helps me work as a practitioner. You know, like it's just I can relate to these people. Like I mean I've never been psychotic. I've never been depressed. You know, thank God for that. But it's sort of easy when you have some sort of mental health background, and you will find actually a lot of mental health nurses, whether they talk about it or not, have their own personal reasons why they work in mental health. When you graduate nursing school, it's a very big choice to go do mental health. It's like pretty much abandoning the whole ideology of nursing and trying something different again.
Yeah, because it's kind of almost like another field, isn't it? Like I said, like you've got nurses that are looking after people with physical ailments, and then you've got people that are with the mental ailments.
Well, usually it's both, because people who have mental health illnesses, sadly enough, usually are at a very substantial risk of having a physical health comorbidity.
What does that mean, sorry?
Oh, so like people with mental health issues or diagnoses are statistically, I think it's like 50% more chances of having like diabetes, which creates other issues, or heart disease.
Oh,
which creates
okay,
other
yeah, I
issues.
understand what you mean.
So like, especially
Yeah.
like for my friends who I work in a youth center. I have friends who work in an adult center, and they are taking care of some very sick, physically unwell people and mentally unwell, and then trying to like nurse both at the same time. Holy fuck. It's very hard.
Is there anything in the field that you think that in the future, like let's say the next 10, 20 years, that could or should change?
Yeah, two things. We should be doing it like the NHS, where after your first year of nursing school, you make the decision whether you want to be a clinical nurse or a mental health nurse, so you can specialise. I think that's important.
Yep.
And I also think it's very important in mental health units and within mental health as a whole, we need a nurse or something like that who is more clinically trained, like an ED nurse or a ward nurse, and to work alongside a mental health nurse. And then on the other hand, in a medical unit or in, say, an emergency department, you need to have a mental health nurse as well. Because just because people are sick doesn't mean they can't be sad as well, and vice versa.
Sure. Do you ever think that mental health will reach like a point of singularity where it's completely cured?
No way.
So you think it'll just... what do you think about... Obviously, we don't live in the fucking 1600s in fucking old mates fucking... You're Welsh, aren't you? Something? Bloody... back then. But do you think mental health has been something that is... Let's say over the last 50 years, do you think it's something that's always been there, but it's more prominent now due to like things that... Like social media and stuff? As in like... not social media being a cause, but social media being that things are always in our face, like it's more prominent.
I think because like this, we live in more like, they were more simplistic times, and I think there was like, you know, like you can go on.
Technology,
forever.
for example, you know, you can fucking. I mean, we're doing this from right now. You know, 50 years ago, I couldn't be doing this. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was probably one undiagnosed then. Two, people had better household values and stuff, and were like religious and stuff, which made them feel better as people because they always had that sort of, I don't know, like faith in saying, and that helps people. And I think nowadays we don't have that. That's why people are worse off these days.
Okay, you're speaking to an atheist, so I don't agree with that. But we can.
No. I'm not. I know. I mean in general, but I think like, yeah. Anyway, each to their own.
No. I think we could pick that apart. We could pick that apart though, because faith could be faith in anything, couldn't it?
Well, that's exactly, and that's what I mean. I don't mean it purely from a Christian sense or whatever sense. It's just I think personally, if people have something, you know, if they just don't think there's all blackness afterwards, I think kind of they are a bit happier about that. Also, I mean, like the involvement within the community.
Yeah, I think we've definitely lost a sense of community.
That's what I mean more than anything. It doesn't matter about religion as a whole. It's just very easy to pick that because back in the day, people were religious. They were God-fearing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I'm sure there's been times when, for example, you know how we talk about how the fact our phones are so like a part of our phones feel like a extension of our body nowadays. Like they really do. They pretty much are. But the thing is, like, you've got one, don't you?
I fucking hate it so much.
Yeah. You know, it's been a couple times where like someone will say to me, like, because I'm fucking shocking on my phone. If I'm on my phone, I get so into that I can't have a conversation with someone. So if I'm talking to someone and I'm on my phone, like it's bad. Like it's just shocking. Have you ever had that feeling like where someone's telling you you're on your phone too much, but then you like can identify that yes you are, but then hold on a minute, you're fucking on your phone even more than me, but then they don't realize it?
I'm pretty hyper connected, eh? Like I remember before we had this chat,
how much do you use your phone every day? Like I should get a fucking screen time app, because the only reason I mention this, the only reason I mention this is because, you know, pretty much all my time is on Reddit, podcasts, Messenger. That's about it these days. I've got rid of Snapchat. I've got rid of Instagram.
Snapchat.
Yeah, you're a Snapchat slut. Because I know that I'm shocking, and I'll spend so much fucking time on that shit when I got it.
This is why I don't have Instagram or TikTok, because I know for a fact I've become hyper addicted.
Yeah. Do you feel like it is a waste of time or not?
Not really. Yeah, like I actually saw a photo and it really made me think. It was like, it was a picture of people on a bus or at a train station, I can't remember, or something like that. And everyone was on their phone, no one was talking to each other. And it's like, oh, things were so much simpler before phones. Oh, but wait. And then there was another photo and it's people on a bus, no one's talking to each other and everyone's just reading the newspaper. It's just like, I think this is just the way we've evolved. Everyone's going to distract each other from something. This is the way we're doing it now. And it is probably just a bit more intense because there's more things you can do on it.
Yeah, you do realise it, especially like, just like, I'm thinking of so many fucking times that I can think of where me and my friends or like partner or whatever are together, or even family, fucking dinners or whatever, and you're just sitting there and you're on your fucking phone.
You're not really
pretty
at
insane.
The moment. I'm the worst for it, so I won't judge you. I'm just fucking...
I can be fucking horrible at it. But that being said, I have noticed a noticeable difference between getting rid of Snapchat and stuff like that. And obviously I've got Facebook back for the podcast and stuff. But like I'm even finding that I'm checking Facebook on my computer and shit when I could be doing something else. Like if it gets to a stage where I'm spending so much time on it, I'll just fucking cut it again. Like, it is what it is. Because I do feel like I can spend my time more constructively. But I asked that because I spoke to a friend actually recently, and he's of the opinion, you know, you should always spend your time learning. So you should always be like reading or fucking watching documentaries or like doing something constructive. Don't waste your time, so on and so forth. But at the same time, it's like, surely you've got to be able to fucking chill out and watch some Netflix as well. Like, I mean, I don't see that as a waste of time, like especially like video games and stuff like that. Like I've got friends that spend a lot of time video gaming, but at the same time, if they are genuinely having fun doing that, then who am I to judge that?
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
Sure
like, how is your fucking reading a book more valuable than them playing a video game?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess
Hey, bro, at the end of the day, we all die. The end. Good night.
That's it. Fucking to the great unknown again.
But yeah, sorry, I'm just getting some fucking thoughts of mine out on paper, brother.
No, you're right, man. Because I agree with you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm too much on my fucking phone. And I think if people play video
where's
games,
it going to go in the future,
at least they're
man?
being
Like, are we
social.
going to fucking... Yeah, is it going to get worse, mate?
Have you ever watched that show, Black Mirror?
I have.
Oh,
I've only watched probably 5 or 6 episodes though. I haven't actually watched Black Mirror.
Have you seen
I've
the one
seen-
where it's like they got the inbuilt into their eye and they can like fucking social media from that and talk to other people like while they're sitting in front of someone. That's what I reckon it's going to get.
Yeah. That's I have seen that. I don't know. Do you think technology and social media is the reason why do you think it's a big factor of mental health?
I think it can help it, and I think it also it contributes to it. And
how do you think it can help technology? How does technology help? Because obviously so many people talk about it in terms of a negative, but how does it help?
Teleconferencing, telehealth, stuff like that. Like I can have conversations with doctors who are like in different states to get opinions and stuff like that via the internet. Just would not be able to do that in another way.
Also, you can conduct, technically, during a time like this, if you're a psychologist or whatever, is psychology therapy, is that considered an essential service? I should probably ask that first.
Yes, it is.
Okay, if it wasn't, let's say we were a major fucking lockdown, we were major fucking, China number 1 lockdown.
Welding people
and you couldn't even go to a
house.
therapist. Yeah, you couldn't even leave your fucking house, basically. Then, technology can support mental health in the simple fact that you can fucking call
100%.
a therapist.
Yep. And it already serves that purpose. Like, think of the helpline and shit like that saves fucking heaps of lives. Like, I got a good mate who is actually one of them helpline workers, and people who are so isolated and withdrawn from society can still call this number and speak to a genuine person. That's pretty important.
Yeah. Yep. And do you think that discussion and talking is the number one thing? Do you think that that's the most important thing?
Yeah, it's the only way you're ever going to pick up on a problem. You don't talk about it; it's not there. You can't identify it.
Yep. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, brother? Because if not, we can probably wrap things up pretty soon.
I think I'm all talked out. My family's probably getting the shit to me that they have to sit in their room.
Get the Ma, where's the meatloaf? Fuck!
I sort of like told my sister to shut up before and like did like the shush noise, and she threw her arms up in the air real fucking sour like. So
that's so funny. You should just go
got the
punch her in
shits.
the head as soon as you leave this.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on doing that.
Actually, I didn't promote that. So, but seriously, if you were to go out of the room that you are currently situated in and punch her in the head, that would be quite funny. Just make sure it's on film.
She would 100% beat the shit out of me though. She's a gymnast and she's fitter than me. I'd be dead.
That's makes the video funnier from my perspective.
Well, getting bitched out by your little sister.
Correct. Yeah. Hey, before we go, let's quickly talk about. I know I've mentioned it 1,000 fucking times on other podcasts, but COVID in terms of has anything changed for you or anyone around you at the moment? Like,
my sister lost her job and her business, which is pretty fucked up.
that sucks.
My mum's still working because she's an aged care worker.
Yeah.
Me personally, for me it's business as usual. Just the way that we're working is different.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed. Like I'm.
What
so
are your
happy that I'm
predictions?
still
What are your
in a job.
predictions, bro? Like I literally. Funny thing is, I was talking to a customer of mine last night. I work at a hotel and I do. I've been doing on call at nights and stuff, and I spoke to a customer last night and we were talking about COVID and stuff, and he's the first person that's ever actually come to me and said he had like a very laid back approach, but in like a cool way, because he kind of basically said like the experts, at this, they still don't necessarily agree on 100% of the things. No one knows what's going to happen. We don't know if this lockdown in May 11th or whatever in Victoria, I'm pretty sure that's Victoria, or cabinet meeting or whatever. We don't know if lockdowns, lifting restrictions is going to help or it's not. But at the end of the day, mate, we're all on a train ride, and it is what it is. Like,
Couldn't have said it better.
I just thought it was a cool.
Just got to ride the fucking
thing.
shitty train, man.
Because so many customers and people have to have their opinions, and I'm sure I've done it myself, you know. But it was just refreshing to get like a, you know, the train's gonna ride, bro. We're gonna have to fucking ride it, you know.
Choo choo, motherfuckers.
Choo choo, get off the tracks, bitch. Hey,
that could.
First of all, thank you very much for being the first person that isn't in my friendship group to join me. Second of all, I want to call out Matt Blake from our trip because he's a bitch, and I know for a fact that he listens to these on the way to work, and he has still refused to come on the podcast, so fuck him. I know Brandon and Dusty are hopefully getting on the podcast soon, so
I'll definitely be listening to them. That'll be interesting.
I do want to end the podcast. We always just end with a little sing-along. Now, I know we had a quick look on Spotify before. We didn't come up with anything, but let's just take 2 minutes because fuck my fans. Have you heard me say that like people, the 3 fans that I have, fuck them all. Like,
yeah, bastards. Really.
You know how people are like, I love my fans or whatever. Well, my 3 people that listen to this podcast, I hate them all, and I want to put them through a fucking
you really
table.
Shouldn't speak about your fucking mum about that, but that's, I don't really. What can I say?
Hey, mum, where's the meat though? Fuck. Right, what do you want to sing? Let's send it out.
I was looking fucking all day yesterday, and I was looking just before, and I just can't think of anything, eh?
All right, how about I'll pick a song?
All right, you do that. If not, it was going to be the I Touch Myself by the Divinals.
Is that because you're touching yourself right now, literally?
Wait, did I leave my camera on?
No.
I've been doing this fucking podcast naked.
All right, hold on. All right, I'm going to send you this, and we're just going to sing the chorus to this bad boy. This is my absolute favorite, and you should feel privileged here, because this is my absolute #1 favorite drunk song of all time. 100% goes down as my
fuck's sake.
my #1. Do you want to sing it together with me, babe?
Is this Bon Jovi in it?
No, Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, yeah. Two bands I hate. John fucking whatever his name is, Bon Jovi, and fucking Aerosmith. But I will sing it with you.
Okay, you ready?
Sorry, family, by the way. This podcast is normal. All right.
Ready, set, go. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, babe. And I don't want to miss a thing. Because even when I finger you, the sweetest dream will never do. And I still miss you, Lucky. And I don't want to miss you, babe.
I like how you threw the South Park into that.
That's pretty good. And I said I'd finger you in there, so I just had to throw that in there.
We always got to go gay, don't we?
It is what it is. It's 2020. That's what it is. It's Tiger King. We're going to get a three-way going.
Oh, Carol Baskin did it. Just quickly. Throwing it out there.
All right. Do you have any shout-outs or anything you want to say to end it?
Not really. Just anyone that actually knows me personally, do not call me out on this. Thanks.
All right, brother. I'll catch you later.
All right, mate.